Hi guys, it's Vicky. I'm here to share my entry for OhSnapGonzo's challenge. If you don't know Sandra, you really do need to go check out her channel. Outside of running a really good challenge, she does great layouts, she does haul videos, she does cards. I'm so glad I found her. I found her by way of Rashida, and hi Rashida, and I'm just glad I did. Anyway, go check her challenge and her videos out. Here's what I can tell you that I know for sure about this challenge. It expires August 18th, so you got plenty of time to join in. I know you can do a layout. I'm not sure what else you can do. I don't know if you can do Project Life or cards. I also know for sure your project has to be about something that's been a little rough to scrapbook. Now, Sandra used the examples of maybe a divorce, maybe a birthday that you're struggling, it's coming up. So, here's the funny thing. I pulled these pictures, a bunch of pictures from this time and place, months ago when all of the nautical products were getting trendy. Because of course I bought, On Trend and Down by the Shore and what's that other one? Lucky Charm, Atlantic by Studio Calico. I had to buy all those nautical products. And the first thing that came to mind is my Florida pictures and pictures of my dad and his boats and so forth. So I pull the pictures. I want to put this in my album because I want my grandson and my son to know him and have a little story about him. So I pull the pictures, I put them in Photoshop, I try to clean them up a little bit, and I have them reprinted because this is not the original photos. But I just could not scrap them. And this is my dad. This is 37 years ago. He's passed over now. He is my dad. Who doesn't love their dad? With my father has 5 girls. I mean, what'd he do his last lifetime? He always wanted a son. And listen, he didn't beat around the bush about the fact that he had 5 girls and no son. Now, here's something kind of funny. Well, I guess it's not like funny, ha ha ha. It's kind of funny, sad, weird. Because all of the girls have some father issues. And I'll explain that in a minute because he didn't chase us around the table with a knife or anything like that. In fact, if he would have done that, it would have been easier to dislike him. Let me get back to what I was going to tell you. The funny thing is, out of the 5 girls, we all have boys. We can't have a girl. I have one sister, and that sister is a half-sister because my mother remarried and had a baby with that guy. That sister had a daughter. So she's not even like his daughter. So I am one of 6 girls, 9 grandsons, but never a son for himself. My dad moved to Florida when I was very young. He was a playboy. He was a baller. He loved the high life. He always had a nice boat. He lived right on the water. He worked hard, and he definitely played hard. As his daughter, and I'm not the only one that has this opinion, unfortunately, we always felt that his life and his friends and his life on the water was more important than us. The bad thing is the little bits of time that my dad would give us was so enjoyable. You couldn't help but to like and love him. And I think that left us feeling like, gosh, we want more. Can't we do this more often? When I was engaged, when I was 17 years old, and I called my dad. He was living in Miami at the time, and I told him I'm getting married, blah, 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 can you come up in, April to give me away? And it was just several weeks away. I didn't even bother him up until that point. I was working, my fiance was working, I had my mom. We didn't even ask him about the financial part. I wanted him to be there to give me away. And unfortunately, it was during the whole Cuba thing when a lot of people was trying to get out of Cuba. And he said, oh gee, I don't think I'll be able to make it, because he would have had to come to Ohio, because one of my employees, his family's in Cuba, and I'm going to have to go pick them up. And I'm going to have to make a couple of trips there. So I'm going to be busy in April. Out of 5 girls, he was only there for one of the weddings. My dad lived a real high society life. He liked nice things and nice places. And I guess it just always left us feeling like that was more important than we were when we were with him, and he made us feel like $1,000,000. But then he went back to his life, so I just wish that we would have been more important. And I'm sure in his head we were important. I don't think he ever realized that he allowed other things to be more important. Now, one funny thing that comes to mind with these pictures, and I'm going to write the story and stick it on the back of this layout. I remember I was like 15 or 16 years old, and my mom and dad were thinking about getting back together. So on this particular day, we were out on his boat with him. And that evening, we went to dinner. Well, everyone in this little pub restaurant type of place knew my dad, especially the ladies. Now, my mom is American Indian and Italian. Let me tell you, to say she had a temper would be the understatement of the year. That didn't go over too well when we walked in, and all of these beautiful Floridian women were like, hi Jim, oh hi Jimmy. My mom was like, Jimmy? Oh my gosh, she let him have it. Needless to say, it didn't work out their reunion. And we were going to stay with my dad. We had been there for 4 or 5 days at that point. We ended up going to spend the rest of our time in Florida with my aunt. And my mom was mad the whole vacation. Of course, we blame him. Anyway, so that's my dad. Now as a parent myself, I wish I could say I understood where he was coming from. I do not. Now, as a woman, I look at his picture and I'm like, oh, he was a good-looking guy. I mean, I didn't see that back then. I was just like, he's your dad. But when you look at the pictures when they're younger, you're like, gosh, they were good-looking. Anyway, so that's the story on the vulnerability around this layout. And I intend on documenting every bad memory on the back of this layout. And listen, I don't want to make it sound too horrible. Like I said, he didn't beat us. There wasn't a true stamp of abuse. But he certainly broke 5 girls' hearts. And it's still broken to this day. Unfortunately, through the years, as all the sisters, as we've had the grandsons, none of us are that close to my dad. And he is passed over now. You know, it's something we can't fix now. And unfortunately, we're all from that same mindset. We can't fake forgiveness in this family. When something happens, we all tend to carry a little bit of a grudge. I don't feel that we do that with ease. But after you get kicked in the teeth so many times, we're not so forgiving, I'm sad to say. With that said, he is my dad. He could have been a lot worse. He could have been a lot better. And there's the story of why this was so difficult to scrapbook. Now, I've covered up his last name, you know, just so that y'all don't show up at my front doorstep wanting to hang out or something. Not that that's my name anymore. I'm married now. But it says Jim, Vicky's dad. I use these arrows from 2 peas in a bucket, red, white, and blue. The sequins are from Studio Calico. You'll see these little chipboard frames. Is that the DIY collection? Hang on. I apologize for the phone. I think this is crepe paper DIY collection or the pier. This is Fancy Pants. I don't know where this, I think this little sticker is also Fancy Pants. These are the canvas alphabet stickers from Little Yellow something. Little Yellow School Bus, Little Yellow Bus. You know what I mean. And this background paper is Lucky Charm. American Crafts. I loved this as a background. I think I even ordered extra. This up here, I believe, is Atlantic Collection, Studio Calico. The background paper is navy blue. This is just some cheapy paper from Recollections, Michael's, that you get when they have it on sale, like 3 packs for $10. It's the Recollections brand. I think that pretty much tells you everything. Let me zoom in. Oh, those little stickers are, geez, Studio Calico. And that's my dad's boat. It was nice. And I'm not sure, I think he said, oh, it's a boat, but 2 more feet and it would be a yacht. And you'll see the yacht in the background. Now that was his friend's yacht. You would have seen that boat. It was called the Nickapeg. And this is his backyard. He lived right off of Treasure Island in St. Petersburg. Right off of Gulf Boulevard there. The little whale is also from Fancy Pants. I really like these canvas alphabets, but you didn't get many and they were a little pricey, but worth it. There's my Studio Calico sequins. And that's my daddy. You know, the thing is, and I'll remember this day because he made us learn every proper name for everything on that boat. Like, you couldn't say, oh, it's in the front of the boat. You had to say, oh, it's in the bow. Oh, well, I guess that's a good thing. Okay, guys, so there's my submission. Sandra, thank you so much. You're such a sweet woman. You do great videos, and this is an awesome challenge. Good luck to everyone.